Archangel Michael says, a bank executive is investigating your bank account because a huge miracle check was deposited in your name. Wait until you see who sent it. Listen carefully, because what you're about to hear may very well be the moment your entire life shifts. Archangel Michael has stepped forward with a divine message, a message that carries the vibration of abundance, destiny, and revelation. In the spiritual realm, nothing happens by coincidence. Every sign, every dream, every unexpected event is woven together by divine intelligence. And today, Archangel Michael wants you to know that a financial miracle has already been set in motion for you. And now, imagine the scene somewhere, right now, in a quiet office. A bank executive is reviewing your account. The air feels different, thicker, charged, mysterious. The executive frowns, pauses, and leans closer to the screen. There it is, a massive deposit. But something about it is unusual. The sender's name doesn't match any of the organization. It glows differently, as if the ink itself carries light. Yes, a miracle check has been deposited in your name. But here's what's even more incredible: it wasn't sent by a person. It was sent by divine order itself. Archangel Michael whispers that this check is not just symbolic. It represents the abundance, protection, and prosperity you've prayed for in silence. The struggles, the waiting, the tears you've hidden, all of it has been accounted for. The divine realm has issued its response. But before this blessing manifests in your physical reality, Michael warns, do not lose faith. The enemy will try to distract you with doubt. Right now, someone is about to see an unexpected increase, a message, a refund, a new opportunity, or a sudden gift. If your spirit stirs as you hear these words, it's no coincidence. You were meant to receive this message. Stay until the end of this revelation. Something powerful awaits you. Something Archangel Michael says will unlock your financial destiny. Do not skip. This message was divinely timed. If you're ready to claim the blessing that has already been assigned to your name, type now, Amen 2549 to activate the angelic confirmation. You see, the angels operate by faith. When you declare your readiness, you open the spiritual gate for miracles to flow. And Michael says, the check that was deposited in heaven's ledger will soon clear in your earthly account. Every time you feel unseen or forgotten, remember, heaven's record keepers never make errors. What is yours hath been preserved, not lost. The divine transaction is already underway. But who sent it? Who orchestrated this? The answer will shock you, and in the next part, Archangel Michael will reveal the mysterious sender, and why your name was chosen above millions. Stay with me, because what's coming next is a truth few ever get to hear. And before we continue, type this with faith and claim your divine inheritance. Amen 7033, for the doors of heavenly wealth to swing open in your favor. The atmosphere around you might feel heavier than usual, almost like the air itself is pregnant with something unseen, anticipation, energy, divine motion. Archangel Michael is stepping forward once again, his presence glowing with radiant truth. He wants you to understand that what's happening right now is not a dream, not imagination, and not coincidence. You were chosen for this moment long before you ever prayed for it. The check that was mysteriously deposited in your spiritual account carries the seal of heaven itself. And now, the truth about who sent it is about to be unveiled. The scene in that back office continues. The executive rubs their temples, confused by the data flashing on the screen. The deposit doesn't match any transaction, any sender, any earthly routing number. The system tries to trace its source, but every time it does, it redirects to a blank space marked Archangel Intervention Code. That's right. The signature on the miracle check is not written in ink, but in light. Archangel Michael says, "Tell them, the sender is the divine treasury of heaven. Their faith has reached the throne. Every time you spoke words of belief instead of fear, every time you gave when you had little, every time you trusted the unseen, heaven recorded it. And now, heaven has begun to reward it. The check is not money in the ordinary sense. It's the spiritual equivalent of everything you've been owed: opportunities, breakthroughs, restoration, favor, and open doors that no man can shut." Listen carefully. When Archangel Michael speaks, he doesn't speak in riddles. He says clearly, the miracle check was sent by the hand of God through the Angelic Treasury Department. That means what's coming next in your life is supernatural provision. Something that defies logic. Something you could never earn. Something designed to remind you that divine justice is real. But Michael also says this: your faith must be active to cash this check. You can't let fear cancel your deposit. You can't allow doubt to stop the transaction. This is your moment of spiritual confirmation. So, stay until the very end. The instructions that will unlock this divine deposit are hidden in this message. Do not skip. Every word has been encoded with angelic vibration for the one who is truly listening. And now, let me tell you what's coming next. The same bank executive who first noticed the deposit is about to make a call, not to you, but to someone higher. This will symbolize your name being mentioned in rooms you've never entered. People you've never met will begin to speak your name in circles of opportunity, in meetings of influence, and in moments where decisions about your future are being made. This is the divine ripple effect of the check. Once it's released, it multiplies, touching every part of your destiny. Archangel Michael reveals another layer of truth. He says, what you are about to receive is not delayed. It was divinely timed. The weight you experienced wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Heaven has been aligning circumstances, softening hearts, and setting the stage for your elevation. The check came now because you are finally ready to handle the blessing without losing yourself in it. Before we go deeper, pause for a moment. If these words resonate in your spirit, if you can feel that pull in your heart, it's because your soul recognizes its own divine code being spoken back to it. Do not take this lightly. Type now in faith, Amen 4971 to confirm that you are open and ready for the miracle transaction. This isn't a comment, it's a spiritual declaration. Now, I want to speak directly to you, the one who's listening and hasn't clicked away. You are here for a reason. Archangel Michael guided you to this exact moment. If you've ever felt forgotten, unseen, or overlooked, heaven wants you to know that your name is written on the check of favor. Nothing can erase it. Not your past mistakes, not your fears, not your enemies. The divine bank never loses track of what belongs to you. And if this message is already stirring your heart, then help it reach others who are waiting for their own confirmation. Don't keep this revelation to yourself. Like, share, and comment I received my divine check so the vibration of this miracle can flow to others who need to hear it. Remember, blessings multiply when shared. You may be the messenger Archangel Michael uses to unlock someone else's breakthrough. And now listen closely. There's a reason Archangel Michael chose this unusual way to reach you. He says, earthly systems are about to recognize heavenly authority. That means promotions, sudden favor, unexpected financial calls, and divine reimbursements are already aligning with your timeline. Some of you will see emails about old refunds. Others will receive messages about cleared debts or long-forgotten investments suddenly resurfacing. This is not random. It's your check clearing in the physical realm. But there's a warning too. Michael says, do not question the source of your blessing. Receive it with gratitude, not fear. Sometimes when miracles appear, people hesitate, thinking it's too good to be true. Yet heaven operates outside human logic. What's impossible for you is effortless for the divine. Stay with me, because in the next part, Archangel Michael will reveal the exact spiritual instruction to make sure your heavenly check is fully activated. Missing it means leaving your blessing unclaimed. So do not click away. The next revelation could be the turning point you've been praying for. Before we move on, seal this moment in faith. Type now, Amen 8022 to confirm that your name remains in heaven's ledger and your check is ready to clear. Your miracle has already been released. All that's left is your faith to receive it. You've made it here, and that means you are ready for what's next. Archangel Michael is standing before the gates of divine abundance, holding a scroll that contains the activation code for your miracle check. What he's about to reveal is the key that determines whether your blessing will remain in the spiritual realm or manifest into your physical life. So do not look away, and do not skip a single moment, because this next revelation could change everything for you. Imagine again that same bank office, quiet yet humming with a strange energy. The executive has stopped trying to understand the origin of the check because something even more powerful has begun to occur. The lights in the office flicker softly, the air becomes still, and a whisper seems to echo through the room. It's already theirs. The unseen hand of the divine signs one final signature, a seal of confirmation that your name is authorized to receive heavenly inheritance. Archangel Michael says that every blessing that enters your life must go through a process. First, it is assigned, then authorized, and finally, it must be activated. The assignment happened when heaven decided to reward your faith. The authorization occurred when your name was written on the check. And now, the activation depends on your alignment, your belief, your declaration, and your obedience to divine timing. This is the step most people miss. They pray, they hope, but they never activate. Heaven operates like a sacred system. The check may be written, but unless you sign the spiritual acknowledgement of receipt, it cannot clear. That acknowledgement comes in the form of faith in action, speaking, declaring, believing, and refusing to accept lack when you have already been written into the abundance ledger of heaven. Archangel Michael says, your words are your signature. Every time you say, I am blessed, you authorize the deposit. Every time you affirm, my miracle is already done, the divine account moves in your favor. But every time you speak doubt, you delay your own transaction. The angels are listening for the sound of your faith because it is the vibration that releases heavenly funds into earthly hands. Right now, as you listen, something invisible is happening. The angels assigned to your financial destiny are aligning in agreement with your spirit. The energy around your life is shifting. What felt like constant delay will soon turn into acceleration. What seemed impossible will begin to unfold naturally, without struggle, without resistance. This is your moment of divine synchronization. Archangel Michael's message continues. You will notice signs, numbers repeating, unexpected messages, dreams where you see light or receive envelopes, gold coins, or keys. These are confirmations that your spiritual check is processing. Do not dismiss them. Each sign is a communication from heaven that your activation is underway. Some of you have been questioning, why me? Why now? And the answer is simple. Because heaven is strategic. Blessings arrive at the exact moment they will make the greatest impact. You have endured your season of waiting. You have learned faith through adversity. You have kept believing even when no results appeared. That consistency was the proof heaven needed to trust you with abundance. Archangel Michael instructs you to do something vital right now. Speak your readiness into existence. Say out loud, "I am ready for my divine release." The vibration of your voice carries spiritual weight. The moment you speak it, the energy moves. To seal this declaration, type now, Amen 6014, and release the flow of angelic confirmation into your life. But Michael also issues a warning. He says, do not confuse patience with inactivity. You are not meant to wait idly for your miracle to appear. You must align yourself with action. Begin planning as if the check has already cleared. Begin preparing as though the abundance is already yours. Heaven rewards those who move in expectation, not hesitation. The bank executive from our story now feels something they cannot explain. Their computer screen flashes once more, displaying a code that wasn't there before. Divine transfer authorized. It's not a message from the banking system. It's a sign from the higher order that the transaction in heaven has reached its final stage. The only step left is the recipient's confirmation, your confirmation. Michael wants you to understand this truth. Every earthly manifestation follows a spiritual release. So when you feel peace after prayer, that is the evidence your blessing has already been approved. When opportunities begin to appear, when people begin to mention your name, when you sense a sudden shift in your atmosphere, these are not coincidences. They are withdrawal slips being processed in real time. Heaven's timing is now syncing with yours. The check is not coming. It has already been sent. You are simply moving into alignment with what has always been yours. Archangel Michael calls this moment the Great Activation. He says, when your heart aligns with gratitude, the spiritual account opens. Gratitude is the language of receiving. The more thankful you become for what is on the way, the faster it appears in your hands. So, as you hear these words, take a deep breath and whisper to yourself, "Thank you, Heaven. Thank you, Archangel Michael. I am ready to receive." These words are not just gratitude. They are spiritual keys that turn the locks of divine delay. Each syllable echoes through the realms, signaling your readiness for divine overflow. Stay here until the end, because the next revelation contains the action step that completes this entire process. Archangel Michael is about to unveil how to sign your spiritual check, ensuring nothing blocks or diverts your miracle. This step is so powerful that those who understand it often see real-life financial shifts within days, unexpected deposits, approvals, gifts, or opportunities appearing from nowhere. Before we continue, take this moment to anchor your faith again. Type this blessing seal in the comments or say it aloud wherever you are. Amen 1188. This is the final confirmation that your spirit is ready to receive what heaven has already released. Your check has been activated. The next step will unlock it completely. Stay until the end, for the signing of your spiritual check will be revealed next, and with it, the moment your name begins to echo in the halls of abundance. There comes a moment in every divine transaction where heaven pauses, waiting for your confirmation. That moment is now. Archangel Michael stands before the gates of abundance holding your miracle check in his radiant hands. The light reflecting from it is unlike anything earthly, shimmering with the colors of divine promise. Your name is written on it, clear and bold. The amount is beyond measure. Yet one thing is missing: your signature. Michael says, the angels have done their part. The check has been deposited, approved, and activated. Now it must be signed through faith. Your signature is not written with ink but with belief. It is declared through your words, affirmed by your gratitude, and sealed by your unwavering confidence in divine timing. Without this spiritual signature, the transaction remains pending. But once you sign it with your faith, heaven releases it into motion immediately. So how do you sign it? The answer lies in action. Faith is not silent. Faith moves. Faith declares. Faith expects. Michael says, you must write your belief into existence by the choices you make. Begin to speak as though the miracle has already been delivered. Begin to plan your life as if the abundance is already yours. When you operate in expectation rather than desperation, heaven sees your readiness and responds accordingly. In the unseen realms, a record is kept for every act of faith. Each time you believe despite the odds, it's documented. Each time you refuse to give up, even when everything says you should, another signature line is filled. You are signing your spiritual check with every word of hope that leaves your lips. That is the sacred secret of manifestation. The bank executive from our vision reappears. They are staring at your account again, but this time, the screen shows a glowing notification, pending authorization from recipient. The divine system waits for your confirmation, for your faith to respond. And at that moment, the angels surround you, whispering softly, say yes. Sign it with your belief. This is not symbolic, it is spiritual law. Archangel Michael says that belief is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. When you believe fully, the energy of heaven converges with your earthly reality, producing results that defy logic. Some of you will notice it immediately, an unexpected message, a sudden approval, a door opening that had been shut for years. These are confirmations that your faith signature hath been received. Michael's message continues with urgency. Do not let fear counterfeit your signature. Fear signs with hesitation. Doubt signs with uncertainty. Faith signs with gratitude and confidence. Right now, speak this out loud. I sign my divine check with unshakable faith. Your voice releases vibration that the angelic realm recognizes as spiritual authorization. The moment you say it, the energy begins to move. Now pause. Take a deep breath. Feel the weight of what's happening. Heaven's eyes are upon you. The treasury of divine provision has already stamped your name with favor. But you are the deciding factor. You hold the pen. You hold the power to finalize the release. And it all begins with one act of faith, the kind that refuses to doubt even when there's no proof yet. This message is not for everyone. It's for those who are ready to move from waiting to receiving. You have carried hope long enough. You have prayed long enough. Now heaven calls you to act. You cannot stay in the posture of expectation forever. At some point, you must shift into the position of manifestation. This is that moment. Archangel Michael also reminds you, faith is contagious. When you declare your belief, others catch it. That's why he says, let your declaration be public. If these words resonate in your spirit, and you feel that this message was meant for you, do not keep it to yourself. Share this revelation so others can experience their own breakthrough. Like, comment, and share this message if you believe your check is ready to clear. Your act of sharing multiplies the vibration of faith, and the energy ripples outward, touching countless others who are waiting for a sign from heaven. You might not realize this yet, but every time you help another soul believe, heaven increases your own blessing. It's the principle of divine reciprocity. The more you pour faith into the world, the more abundance flows back into your life. So do not hesitate. Be a vessel of confirmation. Archangel Michael's voice echoes again. When you give faith, you receive favor. Now, let's go deeper into what your signature truly means. It is not a simple declaration. It is a vow between you and heaven. By signing this check, you are agreeing to walk in alignment with your divine purpose. You are agreeing to stop settling for less than what heaven has assigned to you. You are agreeing to be a steward of the miracle that's coming your way. This is not just about money. It's about power, destiny, and divine order. Michael whispers, your signature represents your yes. And when you say yes, heaven accelerates everything connected to your purpose. That business idea you've been afraid to start, watch as resources suddenly appear. That opportunity that slipped away, see it return in a greater form. The relationships meant to propel you forward will begin to resurface, and closed doors will creak open again. This is the power of your signature in motion. Do not skip this part. Stay until the end, because the next revelation will teach you how to protect what you've signed. Many receive their blessings but lose them because they never learn the laws of preservation. In the next part, Archangel Michael will reveal how to secure your divine check so it can never be canceled, reversed, or stolen by spiritual interference. But before we move forward, seal your signature of faith with these sacred numbers. Type now in full confidence, Amen 9204, to lock your check in the heavenly treasury. This act symbolizes your declaration that no force can block what's already yours. The spiritual bank that once held your check has now transferred the funds of favor into your earthly account. In other words, what was spiritual has become tangible. Expect calls, messages, and confirmations that defy logic. Expect release, not through your own effort, but through divine orchestration. The energy around you is no longer static. It is in motion. However, Michael reminds you that divine timing is not only about what happens to you, but what happens in you. The moment your heart truly aligns with faith and peace, manifestation accelerates. Heaven never delays. It waits for alignment. That's why so many people feel they are almost there, because heaven is waiting for their spirit to match their destiny. But you have reached that point now. The alignment is complete. Michael says, your vibration has reached heaven's frequency. The miracle is drawn to you like a magnet to light. Feel that truth settling in your chest, that warmth building inside you. It is the confirmation that heaven has acknowledged your readiness. This is your now moment. As the manifestation begins, Archangel Michael cautions you, do not question what looks too easy. The miracle will unfold smoothly because it's not powered by struggle, it's powered by divine order. You may find that doors open without effort, money appears unexpectedly, or long-awaited news finally arrives. Do not doubt it. You are witnessing the fulfillment of what heaven promised. The bank executive, still staring at the glowing account, finally whispers, it's complete. They feel a strange peace wash over them. Though they do not understand it, their spirit recognizes that something supernatural just occurred. In that very moment, somewhere in your own life, an energy shift is happening. The ripple of that divine confirmation has reached you. The check hath been deposited into your reality. This is where gratitude becomes your greatest weapon. Gratitude not only celebrates the miracle, it sustains it. When you give thanks, you keep the channel of abundance open. When you acknowledge even the smallest manifestation, you invite greater ones to follow. Michael instructs, start speaking thanksgiving for what you cannot yet see. It's not pretending, it's aligning. Gratitude says, I already know it's done. Say this now with faith. Thank you, heaven. Thank you, Archangel Michael. My check has cleared, my miracle has manifested. These words are your verbal confirmation slip, the evidence that your faith has translated into reality. Then type this activation number to seal your manifestation. Amen 5720. This code vibrates with the frequency of completion and fulfillment. You might feel tears rising as you say it, not of sadness but release. Every prayer, every sleepless night, every test that made you question your worth, all of it has led to this moment. Michael says, the struggle was not a punishment, it was proof of your strength. You have passed the test. Heaven can now trust you with abundance that cannot be shaken or stolen. Heaven's timing is not random, it's mathematical. Every season of waiting aligns perfectly with the divine schedule. Just as the earth spins at a precise speed, so does destiny move in perfect rhythm. Michael assures you, you are now in divine rhythm. Everything will begin to flow. That means you won't have to force what's next. The right people, the right opportunities, and the right doors will begin to align naturally. You'll notice how effortlessly things start to come together, not because you're lucky, but because you're aligned. Stay until the end of this revelation, because the next part will uncover how to receive and manage the abundance that's arriving. So many lose their blessings because they never learn how to hold them. But you will not lose what's coming to you. Archangel Michael is preparing to teach you the laws of divine stewardship, how to carry abundance without fear, without pride, and without loss. Before we close this part, seal your faith one more time. Whisper this affirmation. I am in divine timing. My manifestation has arrived, and I will protect it with gratitude. Let the energy of that statement flow through you. Then, with full faith, type this sacred code of fulfillment. Amen 3806. The angels are now recording your agreement. The check is not just in your name, it is in your hands. The manifestation has begun. You are living in the answered prayer you once only dreamed of. Stay with me until the end, because what comes next will teach you how to walk in abundance without losing your light. The next revelation could change how you live forever. Every miracle that arrives from heaven carries a purpose. It is never random, and it is never just for one person. When the divine releases abundance into your life, it is both a gift and a responsibility. Archangel Michael stands before you now, his armor shining brighter than gold, his voice calm but filled with power as he says, "You have received your check. Now, you must learn how to carry it." The laws of divine stewardship are the rules by which heaven entrusts its resources to human hands. These laws ensure that what is given is not wasted, and that what is multiplied never becomes corrupted. Many receive blessings and lose them because they mistake the miracle for a conclusion, when in truth, it is only the beginning. Michael says, the miracle is not the finish line. It is the starting point of a divine partnership. You must understand this. Abundance is not only about money. It is about energy, influence, opportunity, and divine favor. It includes peace, wisdom, and time, things that no amount of currency can buy. When heaven releases a financial miracle, it is a symbol of spiritual alignment. It means you are now trusted to handle not only provision, but purpose. Imagine the bank executive once more. They now see your account overflowing with divine credit. The screen no longer flickers. It glows steadily, pulsing with divine rhythm. The deposit has matured. The transaction is final. But beside the glowing total, a message appears that reads, "Stewardship required." This is heaven's way of saying, the blessing is yours, but how you handle it determines what happens next. Archangel Michael says, to keep abundance flowing, you must remain a channel, not a container. A container holds and eventually overflows. A channel flows endlessly, giving and receiving without interruption. This means you must let blessings pass through you, helping, uplifting, and restoring others as heaven continues to refill your flow. The one who hoards loses, the one who shares multiplies. This is one of heaven's oldest truths. He continues, honor what you have and heaven will honor you with more. Gratitude sustains what faith attracts. Every time you thank heaven for what you've received, you signal readiness for expansion. But when you take your blessings for granted, the spiritual current slows. So, give thanks daily. Speak gratitude not as repetition, but as recognition of divine partnership. Michael reveals the first law of divine stewardship. What you bless multiplies. What you ignore diminishes. Speak blessings over your resources, your home, your finances, your ideas, your work. When you bless what you have, you infuse it with divine energy. Words are not empty. They are contracts. The more you speak life into your possessions, the more they align with heaven's abundance. The second law is just as vital. Abundance demands purpose. Money without mission is directionless. Heaven releases resources only when they are tied to divine intention. If you want your flow to continue, assign purpose to your blessings. Ask yourself, what will this miracle fund? Whose life will it improve? How will it glorify divine good? When you align your abundance with purpose, heaven increases it automatically. This is where many falter. They receive blessings and immediately sink into comfort instead of continuation. But Michael says you are not blessed to rest, you are blessed to build. The abundance released into your life is a tool, meant to construct something lasting, something good, something that echoes through generations. You are a custodian of divine resources, chosen to demonstrate how heaven's wealth can create peace and healing. Now, let's look again into the spiritual vision. The bank executive receives another message: interest accruing, multiplication initiated. This means that your obedience has triggered a new level of divine return. Because you received your blessing with humility and are now learning stewardship, heaven begins to multiply what you have. Opportunities expand, connections strengthen, and favor begins to chase you instead of the other way around. Michael smiles and says, "You are becoming the evidence that heaven rewards faithfulness." People will begin to notice changes in your life, not just in your finances, but in your peace, your glow, your presence. You will carry a calm authority that comes from knowing you are in partnership with divine abundance. He warns, however, that to maintain this flow, you must protect your heart from two dangers: pride and fear. Pride whispers, "I did this myself." Fear whispers, "I might lose it." Both are thieves of divine flow. Pride cuts you off from gratitude, and fear blocks trust. Michael instructs you to remain humble and courageous. When you acknowledge heaven as your source and trust in divine provision, nothing can drain your flow. Heaven's system is cyclical. What you send out returns magnified. That means every act of generosity sets in motion a ripple of multiplication. The more you give with pure intention, the more you receive with divine precision. Michael says, heaven will never let you go empty when you fill others. Right now, take a deep breath and say, "I am a divine steward of heavenly abundance." Let those words anchor in your spirit. You are not chasing blessings, you are carrying them. You are not hoping for overflow, you are creating it through alignment and obedience. To seal this truth, type now, Amen 5091. This code carries the vibration of wisdom and stewardship, ensuring that your abundance remains multiplied and protected. Michael continues, the flow of abundance follows peace. If ever you feel lack creeping in, return to peace. Don't chase don't panic. Sit in stillness and declare that the divine source has not run dry. The moment your spirit calms, the flow resumes. Heaven's wealth responds not to anxiety, but to alignment. As you learn to manage this new level of blessing, remember that heaven's intention is not to give you riches for comfort, but resources for impact. There is someone whose life will change because of your obedience. You are part of a larger equation, a divine economy of giving, healing, and transformation. Stay until the end, because the next revelation will show you how to multiply your miracle beyond yourself. Archangel Michael will reveal how your check becomes a legacy, one that affects not just your present, but generations to come. Do not skip what's next. It is the most powerful part of your journey yet. Before we close, speak this aloud. I am not a container. I am a channel for divine abundance. Feel the truth of that statement expand inside you. Then type this file code of confirmation, Amen 7772. This number seals your covenant of stewardship with the energy of continuous flow. Your blessing is not meant to end with you. It is meant to flow through you. Heaven has trusted you with abundance because it knows you will use it wisely. The check has cleared, the flow has begun, and your stewardship has been approved. When heaven moves, it never moves for one life alone. Every miracle carries a ripple that extends beyond the moment, beyond the person, and beyond the visible. Archangel Michael stands once more in the brilliant light of divine authority, holding your miracle check as it now transforms into something new. The paper turns into gold dust, then into radiant light, spreading outward into infinite directions. He says, your blessing is no longer a transaction. It has become a legacy. What you have received is not meant to stay confined to your hands. The divine does not give only for personal gain, but for generational transformation. The abundance you have stepped into is the beginning of a cycle that will reach those connected to your lineage, your family, your community, and even strangers whose paths you will cross unknowingly. Michael declares, you have become a divine conduit through which heaven writes blessings into the story of humanity. The bank executive from our vision now receives one final encrypted transmission. The message reads, transfer completed, legacy initiated. The numbers on your account are no longer static. They are multiplying. But this multiplication is not just financial, it is spiritual, emotional, and generational. The divine record now shows that your obedience has activated a flow that will continue long after you. Michael explains, every act of faith leaves a signature in eternity. When you believe, when you give, when you choose light over fear, those choices are recorded not only in heaven but in the very energy of creation. They become seeds planted in time. Some of those seeds bloom immediately, others decades later, through the lives of those who inherit your spiritual DNA. You are creating waves of blessings that your descendants will walk in without even knowing how they began. A miracle check you received was written in your name, but its ink was made of divine intention. It was heaven's way of confirming that you were chosen to shift your entire bloodline's narrative. Where there was once lack, there will now be overflow. Where there was fear, there will now be faith. Where there was silence, there will now be song. This is how heaven writes new beginnings, through the faith of one who finally says yes. Michael continues, a true legacy is not what you leave to people, but what you leave in them. The abundance you've received is meant to ignite light in others, to awaken faith in the hopeless, and to restore trust in divine timing. Every time you tell your story, every time you share your testimony, you multiply your miracle. That is why heaven blesses those who do not hide their light. In the unseen realm, your check continues to expand, turning into streams of glowing energy. Each stream represents a new life touched, a new heart inspired, a new door opened because of your obedience. The bank executive, now overwhelmed by the light flooding through the digital systems, steps back in awe. Their office glows with warmth and radiance as they whisper, "This blessing, it's contagious." And they are right. Divine energy spreads wherever it is acknowledged. Michael smiles, saying, "Heaven's economy is infinite. It cannot run out. The more you share, the more you receive. The more you give, the more heaven replenishes." This is the secret of legacy, the endless circulation of divine provision through willing hearts. But Michael also gives you a warning. He says, "Do not let your legacy be silenced by fear or pride." Some people will question your journey, not understanding the spiritual truth behind your miracle. Others may envy the grace upon you. But remember this: divine favor cannot be explained. It can only be experienced. Your task is not to defend your miracle, but to live it so fully that it speaks for itself. Heaven measures legacy not by years, but by impact. The words you speak today can ripple through generations. When you speak life over your family, when you forgive those who wronged you, when you sow peace instead of conflict, you are creating spiritual wealth that your descendants will inherit. Michael says, "Your words today are the seeds of tomorrow's abundance." There is a moment now where Archangel Michael lifts his hand, and from his palm, light radiates outward like streams of water. He says this is the flow of legacy. You are not standing under blessing anymore. You are standing within it. You are not receiving. You are becoming. Every action you take from this moment carries creative power. When you help others rise, you multiply heaven's investment in you. Take this truth deeply into your heart. Your miracle check is not the end. It's the beginning of an empire of light. This empire is built not on money, but on energy, compassion, truth, and divine connection. It will influence the unseen, and it will shape what is seen. Michael gives you a sacred instruction. From now on, speak of your blessings as if they belong to everyone you meet. When you tell someone, "Good things are coming your way," heaven hears it as a command and fulfills it. When you affirm others, you build bridges that allow your legacy to expand. Divine wealth grows not through possession, but through participation. The time has come to seal your legacy. Take a deep breath and speak these words aloud. I am the beginning of a divine legacy. Through me, heaven's blessings flow endlessly. Let those words settle into your heart, grounding your spirit in eternal truth. Then, with full faith, type this sacred confirmation, Amen 8405. This number carries the vibration of infinite continuation, the assurance that your blessings will never cease, only multiply. Michael concludes with one last revelation. When you walk in divine legacy, your life becomes proof that heaven keeps its promises. The people who once doubted you will see transformation and know it was not luck, but divine orchestration. Every part of your story, every pain, every waiting, every tear was preparation for this purpose. The energy around you now is shifting again, expanding outward into the world. It touches lives you don't even know yet, and the divine record glows brighter. Heaven has confirmed your legacy. The check that once rested in your name now bears another inscription: ongoing. That means your impact is eternal. Do not stop here. The next revelation will show you how to live permanently within this divine flow, so that abundance, peace, and protection become your everyday reality. The next part will unveil how to maintain continuous alignment with the heavenly source that started it all. Before we move forward, Seal your heart in gratitude. Whisper once more, my miracle is eternal, and my legacy will never end. Then type this final code of eternal continuation. Amen 9162. The angels have heard you, and the divine archives have recorded your legacy. You are no longer just the receiver of a miracle, you are now the carrier of one. When heaven releases a miracle, it is never meant to be a single event. It is meant to become a state of existence. The true blessing is not in what you receive once, but in learning how to live within the current of divine flow every day. Archangel Michael stands beside you once again, his sword sheathed, his presence calm yet radiant. He says you have mastered the laws of faith and stewardship. Now you must learn to dwell in the rhythm of abundance itself. The flow of divine abundance is like a river. It never forces, never hesitates, never stops. It moves with grace and certainty, carving through obstacles until it finds its course. Those who learn to align with it never run dry. They live in harmony with the constant giving and receiving that defines heaven's economy. Michael says to live in abundance you must move as abundance moves, freely, selflessly, and without fear. Picture the spiritual bank once more. The account with your name has now transformed into a living stream of light. It is no longer just a number on a screen, but an eternal current flowing from the heavens directly into your life. Every time you think, speak, or act in harmony with divine purpose, the current strengthens. But when fear or negativity creeps in, the water slows. Your task is not to control the river, it is to stay in it. The key to remaining in divine flow is spiritual consistency. Michael says, faith must become your default setting, not your emergency response. Many people only turn to heaven when they need rescue, but divine abundance belongs to those who walk with heaven daily. That means beginning each day in gratitude, speaking intention into existence, and ending every night with trust. The divine does not need perfection. It needs partnership. To live in this flow, you must cultivate three sacred attitudes: gratitude, generosity, and grace. Gratitude keeps the channel open. It tells heaven that you recognize and honor every gift, big or small. When you thank heaven for what you already have, you send out a frequency that calls for more. Gratitude is the spiritual signal that says, I'm ready for continued flow. Generosity is the river's rhythm. The more you give, the more room you create to receive. But true generosity isn't just about money, it's about spirit. When you give your time, your kindness, your encouragement, you are depositing divine energy into the world, and that energy always returns. Michael says the flow you release is the flow that returns. Grace is the atmosphere in which abundance thrives. Grace means forgiving quickly, loving freely, and walking lightly. When you hold on to bitterness or judgment, you build dams in your river. When you release and forgive, the waters rush freely again. Heaven's flow responds not to resentment but to release. The bank executive from our earlier vision now finds themselves surrounded by light. The account that once belonged only to you has expanded, becoming a network of interconnected streams. Your miracle has begun to merge with others. Those who believed because you did, those who found hope because you shared your message. Heaven's flow is communal, not individual. It moves through the collective faith of all who choose light over fear. Archangel Michael reveals, the true proof of divine abundance is peace. When you no longer chase, fear, or grasp for more, it means you have entered the flow. Abundance is not measured by what you possess, but by how free you feel. When you walk without anxiety about tomorrow, when you give without fear of lack, you are living as heaven intended. There will still be tests. Seasons may shift, but those who live in divine flow are never truly shaken. They understand that even in what looks like loss, the river is simply changing course. Every delay, every challenge, is an opportunity to deepen trust. Michael says the same river that floods also nourishes. The same storm that bends you also grows you. Heaven's promise is continuous provision. It means whatever you need, wisdom, opportunity, strength, or peace, will appear the moment you require it. You do not have to chase it. You only have to stay in alignment. Faith is not about striving. It is about surrendering to the current that already carries you. Now, Michael gives you a sacred daily practice to remain in divine flow. Each morning, before you speak to anyone, place your hand over your heart and say, "I am one with divine abundance. Today, I flow in heaven's rhythm." Then imagine a golden stream entering your life, touching your thoughts, your relationships, your work, and your health. This mental image is not imagination. It is participation in spiritual truth. You are reaffirming your connection to heaven's river. As you move through your day, speak abundance into existence. When you face challenges, declare, "This too will flow for my good." When you succeed, say, "Thank you, Heaven, for allowing me to share your wealth of light." These words maintain the rhythm of divine circulation in your life. Michael says, "Never let fear make you hoard." When you feel scarcity approaching, do something generous immediately. Give, bless, uplift, or forgive. That single act reopens your current and calls abundance back to you. You are now living proof that divine miracles are real, not because you witnessed one, but because you became one. Every step you take radiates the vibration of heaven's economy. People will be drawn to your peace, sensing something powerful yet gentle around you, the unmistakable glow of divine flow. To seal your life within this endless current, Michael asks you to make a final declaration of faith for this part. Speak this aloud now. I live in the river of divine abundance. I give freely, I receive effortlessly, and I trust endlessly. Feel the warmth of those words filling your heart, stabilizing your energy, and connecting you directly to the divine source. Now, type this sacred activation number, Amen 6984. This code carries the vibration of continuous motion, reminder that your flow will never stop as long as your faith continues. Archangel Michael smiles, his wings surrounding you like a golden embrace. He says, "Heaven's flow is your inheritance. Walk in it, live in it, breathe it. You are the river now. But do not leave yet. Stay until the end, because the next part, the final revelation, will complete your journey. In the last chapter, Archangel Michael will reveal why heaven chose this exact moment to release your miracle, and how your destiny is about to expand beyond anything you've ever imagined. The conclusion will not only confirm your blessing, but elevate your understanding of who you truly are in the divine design. Before you move on, seal your energy once more. Whisper, "I am abundance in motion." Then type this second code of eternal alignment, Amen 3039. Heaven records your declaration as confirmation that your spirit is fully anchored in divine flow. The river is flowing. Your name is written on its surface, glowing eternally. What comes next is the revelation that ties it all together, the reason heaven chose you for this miracle. Stay until the end. You have reached the end of this sacred journey, the final revelation where heaven's purpose is unveiled. Archangel Michael stands before you for the last time in this message, surrounded by a radiance so bright it seems to dissolve the very air around him. His eyes shine with calm certainty as he speaks. Now that you have walked through faith, stewardship, protection, and flow. It is time to understand why heaven chose you. Heaven does not select at random. You were chosen because your heart carried a light strong enough to endure storms without losing its glow. Every tear you shed, every prayer you whispered, every act of kindness when no one was watching, those were divine signatures of worthiness. Michael says, you were chosen because you did not let the darkness harden you. In a world that often forgets gratitude, you remembered. In a world that gives up easily, you endured. Heaven saw that and decided to trust you with its abundance. The bank executive from our story has now changed. They are no longer confused or hesitant. They stare at the final line on your account, and for the first time, they understand. The screen reads, "Transfer complete. Purpose activated." The miracle check was never only about money, it was about mission. Heaven deposited into you the resources, wisdom, and strength to change the lives of others. The check was a symbol of your spiritual promotion. Michael says, the miracle was never given to make you comfortable. It was given to make you powerful in service. You are now a vessel of divine wealth, wealth of compassion, peace, and influence. Every blessing you carry is meant to awaken light in someone else. This is why heaven intervened, why the bank of the divine wrote your name on that sacred check. You were chosen to remind the world that faith still moves mountains, that heaven still answers prayers, and that miracles still happen in ordinary lives. He continues, you are not just the receiver, you are now the messenger. From this point forward, your story is a living testament to the reality of divine order. Your journey will inspire others to believe, to hope again, and to trust that unseen forces of light are working in their favor. This is your destiny, to be a carrier of hope. Now, Archangel Michael lifts his sword high and touches it to your heart. The moment he does, you feel warmth surge through your body, peace deeper than you've ever known. He whispers, "It is done." The divine record flashes one last time, covenant sealed. Take a breath and speak these words aloud. I am chosen. I am trusted. I am ready. These three declarations finalize the spiritual transaction that began when you first heard this message. You are no longer waiting for miracles. You are walking as one. To seal your divine purpose in the archives of heaven, type this blessing number now, Amen 9558. This code confirms that you have accepted your calling as a vessel of divine abundance and truth. And before this message ends, let one final blessing flow from your lips. Thank you, Heaven. Thank you, Archangel Michael. I am a living miracle. You were not just sent a check, you were sent a mission. Walk in it boldly, because heaven's favor will now follow you all the days of your life. And now type the final seal, Amen 1212, and carry this truth forever. The miracle was written in your name, but the purpose was written in your soul.